Have you ever thought about how different your life would be if you didn't have a bathroom in your home? Like most people in developed countries, it's probably never occurred to you. What if you couldn't be certain the water your family was drinking was safe? How seriously would this impact your life? For many people in Pakistan, these scenarios are realities. Poor sanitary conditions related to defecation and drinking water have a serious negative effect on the country. It's an uncomfortable subject to talk about, but it's also a serious issue plaguing much of South Asia, and it needs to be addressed. The quality of sanitation affects the people of Pakistan in numerous ways, from their economy to their overall quality of life. In the future, sanitation in Pakistan will most likely continue to improve, but I predict that it will be many years before bathrooms for all citizens have reached acceptable standards. This is largely because the government seems to be dragging their feet on this particular issue, or perhaps turning a blind eye. To understand the future, it's important to know what the state of Pakistan has been like so far. In this screencast, I will be discussing why sanitation in Pakistan matters, who it affects, and what the future of sanitation looks like. Approximately 22 million people living in Pakistan defecate in the open. That paints a pretty unpleasant picture, but more importantly, this practice has grim consequences. When fecal matter is not taken care of properly, it gets into the drinking water. The drinking water is then contaminated by bacteria, which causes diarrheal diseases. Anyone who has experienced diarrhea before knows it's unpleasant, but in these cases it can be deadly. In fact, diarrhea is the leading cause of death for infants and children, not just in Pakistan, but in the entire world, killing around 500,000 children each year. In fact, poor sanitation is a widespread issue in South Asia. Andrea Bruce, a photographer for National Geographic, was asked to explore the issue further in India through her pictures. She stated, "It almost seems so ridiculous that I had to do it. But once you start researching, you realize that it's among the most important issues today, affecting nearly 1 billion people." Ms. Bruce also found that many girls in India drop out of school once they start their periods because there's nowhere to take care of themselves and no privacy. Could this also be contributing to illiteracy among women in India's neighboring country? Sanitation not only affects Pakistan's schooling, but its economy as well. The equivalent of billions of US dollars are spent on poor sanitation, most of which goes toward the cost of treating the sick. People of all ages are affected by waterborne diseases, but as I mentioned earlier, children are the most severely affected. Nearly 53,000 children in Pakistan die every year as a result of poor drinking water. If children live, these diseases can still have long-term effects, such as growth stunting, which affects 44% of children in Pakistan, and malnourishment. Sanitation is also of particular concern to women, not only so that they can take care of themselves during menstruation, but also for safety reasons. Ms. Bruce reported that women and girls in South Asia with no access to toilets frequently go out to relieve themselves in groups because they run the risk of being raped if they go out by themselves. Most of the population living in cities have access to decent toilets. It's those living in rural areas who are lacking in proper facilities. Of the 94 million people who do not have access to decent sanitary facilities, 75 million of them are living in rural areas. It isn't so surprising that urban areas were the first to receive proper facilities, but these adjustments don't seem to be spreading out to those outside of the city, and that's a problem. So the real question is, what is the government of Pakistan doing about it? Things are getting better, but very, very slowly. In the year 2000, most of South Asia committed themselves to improving sanitary conditions, but in 2013, Pakistan was one of the countries that had shown the least amount of improvement. In March of that year, several organizations got together and launched a campaign, "Keep Your Promises on Sanitation," demanding that the government start making progress in this area. Pakistan, along with several other countries, renewed its promise to create a more hygienic and open defecation-free country by signing the Kathmandu Declaration. Then, just last year, Pakistan again resolved to improve water and sanitation conditions. Minister for Climate Change Zahid Hamid said that sanitation is a basic human right, and also added that cleanliness in Pakistan could be greatly improved through increased awareness among people and education on proper hygiene. Pakistan was the host of last Southeast Conference on Sanitation, held in February of this year. These conferences and demonstrations seem to be a positive indicator of government taking more action on the issue. Then again, citizens of Pakistan have been lied to in the past. For this reason, I question whether country people will have better sanitation as soon as they've been promised. For now, it's hard to say what the future will hold, but as more countries and citizens insist on improved conditions, I believe that all things considered, There is reason to hope that Pakistan will begin to see better sanitation quality in the coming years. Here is my bibliography, which concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed my screencast on sanitation in Pakistan. Thanks for watching.